Hello?
Jeph Loeb?
Who's calling?
Stephen Wacker at Marvel Comics.
I'm afraid I don't know anyone by that name.
You're being ambushed, pal!
What happens now? Do I have to pay you the money I owe you?
You get to answer questions for the readers of Nova.
Wow, this sounds exciting. I love Nova. You know what? I've been reading that book since the first issue. That's Jeph Loeb and that Ed McGuinness are doing a really great job.
They certainly are. They certainly are. Are you on the set of S.H.I.E.L.D. right now?
Actually, I'm on a S.H.I.E.L.D. mission. I don't think people really understand that S.H.I.E.L.D. is not a television show, but a documentary about actual S.H.I.E.L.D. agents.
That's awesome.
So I'm in a classified place where you might hear gunfire at any point. Please keep your head down.
Well, please stay safe for at least the next minute or so.
Okay.
So I was looking through the email today, getting ready to call you. And one thing people are they continue to be curious about is sort of the origins of the new Nova. Do you have a second to talk about that? Like how this has been a long time coming. You've been planning this for a long time.
Well, yes, since 1952. I was out at the World's Fair, and a rocket ship came down, and inside was a baby wrapped in blankets.
Well,
and yet, strangely, he didn't have any burn marks on him.
This is Marvel legal. I've got to stop you right there. No, you pitched Nova to Joe Quesada and Dan Buckley. What, 3-4 years ago?
Well, it was certainly they knew that DNA, as we like to refer to them,
Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning.
Abnett and Lanning, the people that were currently working on Nova and the Annihilation and all those amazing characters.
Yep.
Once we knew that they were going to wrap that storyline up, there was a call put out throughout the land. And that was, were there people that were interested in telling Nova stories? And I threw my hat in the ring. I said, I want to respect what DNA did, and I think that Rich Rider and the Nova Corps went off incredibly heroically. So could we tell a story of the last Nova ever? And that's where our story began.
Cool. And I guess we'll have to break it to people. They know by the end of this issue that you are unfortunately stepping away from the book to focus on your TV career.
I know you're saying that disparagingly.
Can you sense the contempt in my voice?
There was some contempt in your voice. But the reality was, as much as I would love to stay in this book for 100 issues, because there are certainly lots more stories that Ed and I have in our head for Sam Alexander, it became rather clear. I don't know that people understand that when you start working on a comic book, it's not the month before the comic actually comes out onto the stand.
Right.
Although sometimes, as an editor, I bet it feels like that.
It feels like that, sure.
But this was something that we started well over a year ago, and well over a year ago, I didn't have things like Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. starting September 24th at 8 o'clock on ABC. And one thing that I have learned through the years is that doing a live-action television series, 4 animated series and running Marvel Television makes writing a monthly comic book challenging.
Yeah.
And I love comics, and I love Nova, and I love the whole world. But shove came to push, and I believe it was Steve Wacker. He's a really good editor. You should talk to him. Called me and said, "How long do you think you can really stick around?" And we looked at our schedule, and it really felt like if I could tie up the origin story, which, as the readers know, happens before you first meet Nova, so that you could actually sort of go back in time and hear the story and then put it together with his other appearances. That would be a good place for me to hop off for now. I'm not saying not coming back, not saying me and Ed aren't coming back, but the responsibilities of doing a monthly comic aren't fair to the reader more than anybody else, and so this seemed like a really good place to tie things up. There are a few strands of storyline that folks will see when they've read the last issue.
Yep.
That obviously mean that there'll be more things out there. That's the nature of comic book storytelling. You want folks to feel like they've had a really great story, but that they also want to come back the next month.
Well,
and I'm super jazzed that Zeb Wells, who, as you may recall, when you called me and said, who should follow up, I said, well, it'd be great if we get someone like Zeb Wells, and there we did. And there was never any other choice other than Paco Medina, because we really wanted the book to sort of continue with the same kind of look. I'm not saying that Ed and Paco draw exactly alike, but at least the book will feel the same.
Yeah, no, you were talking about Paco for a long time coming onto that book once Ed had to move. And editorially, I want to say I do appreciate the time you've taken. I know you've met with Zeb a few times. You guys have talked some Nova plans. And he's giving you an idea of some of the stuff coming up, and you've sort of given your insight into Sam's character. So I certainly appreciate that as an editor. I feel like the book's in good hands.
It was easy. They were all great ideas. All I really did was say, "That sounds great. Keep doing that." But thank you for that.
All right, Mr. Loeb. Well, thank you, Jeph, for letting me interrupt your day. I hope I didn't ruin a scene.
You do not do anything. As I said, I'm actually I'm in a very secure position with the folks at Shield. I do want to give a big shout out to your co-editorial staff, Ellie Pyle and Sana, who abandoned us after the first issue, but we don't have any bad feelings about that.
All right, that's all for Jeph Loeb. Thanks for listening to another AR Ambush.